Hello, everybody. It's Bill Stack College Football Guy. It's time for the Fifth Down Show. Oh, yeah, the Week 2 edition. What we got going on here? We're going to go over a few things here this week with all the notes we got here. We're talking about all the subscriber schools that won. We're going to shout them out, the 5-star performers, the 5 of them. These, it turns out, I believe we only had, for the schools that need to hit the gym, we really only had 4 because we had 6 that made you say, what the blue hell. One of them saving for last. Along with going over my new top 25. So, shall we get into this? Because we got a little bit of work to do here. Okay, first off, all the subscriber schools that won this week. Shout out to, first off, to Lincoln. North Dakota State. I didn't keep track of them last week they won both of their games. Lincoln, I had them think win like 1 or 2 games. Well, they're already 2-0, which is surprising. North Dakota State won, as did Tarleton State, Louisville, Boise State, Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, Miami, Oregon, South Florida, Iowa State, Baylor, Alabama, Tennessee, Utah, New Mexico, Fresno State, Colorado, Texas State, Ohio, Wyoming, Cal, East Carolina, Houston, UCF, Toledo, Colorado State, Memphis, Coastal Carolina, UNLV, UTEP, Washington State, BYU, Washington, and Hawaii. Now, the 5-star performers, these are the schools I felt like that both sides of the ball, they played a great game, and usually in this time of year, it's going to be blowouts. First off, we're talking about the last, well, the first 3 here, first 2, I should say, beat FCS schools. We're talking about Ohio State beating Grambling 70-0. Balanced, pretty much a balanced attack, an awesome offensive performance. 377 yards passing. Julian Sayin, 18-19, 306 yards, 4 touchdowns with 1 pick. I believe here, 274 yards rushing from them. And Bo Jackson, no, not that Bo Jackson, and not related to Bo Jackson. 9 carries, 108 yards, and a touchdown. They only allowed, if you counted passing and rushing, Ohio State defense only allowed 166 yards of offense. And Ricky Pettijohn had a 23-yard fumble return for a touchdown. So all-around good 5-star performance from Ohio State. Next up, we're talking Minnesota. Minnesota beats Northwestern State 66-0. Their offense was not, Minnesota's not exactly known for a high-powered offense, but there's other things that contributed into this here. 2 defensive touchdowns, really. 226 yards passing, 258 yards rushing, highlighted by Grant Washington's 20 carries for 126 yards. Didn't have a touchdown, but still a good performance. They allowed, that right? 42 yards of offense. 23 yards passing, 19 yards rushing. Yikes. John Nestor here had a 29-yard pick 6 to start the game as starting the scoring, and Matt Kingsbury had a fumble recovery for a touchdown in the end zone, I believe. So outstanding performance by Minnesota. Next up, third best I think we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about Nebraska beating Akron 68-0. Nebraska had 494 yards passing. Dylan Raiola, 24 out of 31, 364 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. 236 yards rushing, highlighted by Emma Johnson's 14 carries for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns, 10 yards of carry on the nose. Nebraska allowed 175 yards of offense. Just an all-around great performance there by Nebraska. Third place, the list we put here for the performances here, I'm going to have to go to Alabama. So I'm going to get into the FBS wins here. Third place was Nebraska. Second place is going to be Alabama beating UL Monroe 73-0. Alabama's going to struggle after Florida State. Yeah, they bounced back. 371 yards passing. Ty Simpson, 17 of 17. Can't get any better than that. 226 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. 212 yards rushing. Alabama allowed 148 yards of offense. Impressive performance, but I think the most impressive one, and the only one here on this list that beat a Power 4 opponent, Oregon beating Oklahoma State 69-3. Although the Oklahoma State's roster right now is looking, they're kind of more toward the G5 than they are towards the Power 4. But Oregon beat Oklahoma State 69-3. Balanced attack, 319 yards passing, 312 yards rushing. Dante Moore, 16-21, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Oregon's defense allowed 211 yards, which is more yards than everybody else. Jerry Mixon, 26-yard pick 6. and Peyton Woodyard with a 30-yard pick six. That was the scoring in the end of the game. Last two scoring plays at the end of the game, both pick sixes for Oregon. Just a dominant performance by Oregon. That's when their 5-star performances. Now we get to the schools that need to hit the gym. What do I mean by hit the gym? Schools that got pushed around, weren't physical enough, cardio ran out. In other words, they won, but they just did not look good doing it. We'll start off here. Probably in the fourth out of the list here, the one is the least of this. Ole Miss beating Kentucky 30-23. Kentucky is one of the 3 worst teams in the SEC. And Ole Miss was considered to be one of some in the top 3 best or top 4 best. 30-23. That doesn't look good. Ole Miss, Austin Simmons. Oh, yeah, he's a great quarterback. Yeah, he's 13 of 24. 235 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. Just not an impressive performance by Ole Miss. I mean, you got it done, but barely. Next up, we got Colorado State beating Northern Colorado 24-17. 21-17, excuse me. Braden Fowler Nicolosi, 13 of 25, 132 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. What the hell? You lost 4 fumbles. We got next up, let's see if that's third place. Second place, we got Appalachian State beating Lindenwood 20-13. App State's supposed to be one of the better G5s. To me, we could tell App State to remind them to show up because they had a chance to put Lindenwood away, but just didn't do it. They just kept letting them hang around. App State led the entire way, but when they allowed them negative 1 yards rushing, but they just could not put Lindenwood away. Those are the games you don't put somebody away, they come back and beat you, and almost did. Didn't help the fact you fumbled the ball 3 times. But D1, it was on TV. Syracuse beating UConn 27-20. If you did not hit, I mean, it was a back and forth game. UConn led for a good chunk. Syracuse gets a touchdown to take the lead. UConn hits a field goal with no time left to take it to overtime. It was a battle, and you got the win in overtime. But UConn led 17-6. You had to come back and win this. You just played like crap, and you hung on. You seriously need to hit the gym because that's I don't know what the deal was, mentally, physically, whatever, but y'all sucked in the first half. You came back and won, but you did not look good doing it. Now, time to get into what the blue hell. Oh boy, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excuse me, 7 in this list. Oh boy, where do I start? Let's do the it's on the list here. Long Island University, the same team that Florida State beat by 70? Beat Eastern Michigan 28-23. Long Island led 14-10 at the half. Neither team punted in this game. The offensive stay on the field, they ran for a 4th down. Long Island outgained Eastern Michigan. It's an FCS team over an FBS team. 231-122 on the ground. 100 yards more rushing. It was 28-16 with 1:56 left in the game. The game was over, and it was Lucas Cesani had a 2-yard touchdown run for Long Island. Noah Kim threw a touchdown pass to Javarian Wheeler. 5-yard touchdown pass. But the game was over. This was just an embarrassment by them. Just a bad look. What the blue hell, Eastern Michigan. And Eastern Michigan is considered to be, has been considered for many years, one of the worst G5s. Well, now we're going to get to the other one considered one of the worst G5s, who I'd actually hoped was going to be better. Silly me. UMass, you lost to Bryant 27-26. UMass led this game 20-10. Your stamina sucks. You had a chance to put them away, but they just wouldn't go away. They wouldn't quit. They wouldn't give up. They just kept hanging around. And Brennan Meyer, the quarterback from Bryant, wasn't impressive. 22-44, but 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Bryant never punted in this game. The only reason you got back into it was because of their interceptions. That's the only reason. I mean, was it Tyler Martin? started the game with a 23-yard pick six. That was UMass's first points. So you could take 7 off of the 26 right there. I mean, UMass kicked was it Morris here? Kicked a 53-yard field goal to give them the lead with 4:11 left, and then Bryce Soley, the Bryant kicker, hit a 25-yard field goal with time expired to win the game for Bryant. Shout out to Bryant beating an FBS team, but UMass, what the hell? I know you're bad and all, but what the hell? You shouldn't be losing FCS even as bad as you are. Okay, next up on the What the Blue Hell list, who should I put up next that's in terms of shocking? Well, it's not really shocking based on the way they've been playing. I talked about this in the stories of week 2. Well, it happened. Army beat Kansas State 24-21. Kansas State led 13-7 at the half. Army held Kansas State to 246 yards offense. That was this, and Bryce Snoenberg from Kansas State had a 99-yard kickoff return to give Kansas State the lead. They got a 2-point conversion, make it 21-14. And then Army scored 10 unanswered points, culminating with Kelhelmius, 14-yard touchdown run with 2:52 left to win the game for Army. K-State, what the blue hell, dude? Are you even going to make a ball game playing like this? Wow. That's a wow for me, just a wow. Next up on the shock list, Baylor beating SMU 48-45. Now, people, SMU was ranked. That's why I'm putting on this list, because SMU, what the blue hell, you shouldn't be losing to Baylor. I took Baylor after their loss out of my top 25 because I had them higher than most people do. Because Samuel Robertson didn't show up. Well, this week he sure as hell showed up. The quarterback from Baylor, 34-50, 440 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Bryson, I'm probably saying his name wrong. Bryson Washington, 31 carries for 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. SMU's defense, where the blue hell were you? If you count 440 yards passing, 161 yards rushing, 101 yards of offense between those two, you add in the 136 yards, if you're talking total yardage, it's 737. And you wonder why you lost? Just, your defense was just overmatched. Sawyer Robertson, the reason I put Baylor in my top 25 early was because I know he's a damn good quarterback. He's going to have his moments. Well, he showed it to you, SMU, so what the blue hell? You still lost. Now to next up on the list. 3 games I did not have on my scorecard. It did not. Baylor SMU I had on my score possibly happening. The worst team in the SEC, Mississippi State, at home, beats top 25, top 15, I think was where it was, Arizona State 24-20. Blake Shapen, quarterback of Mississippi State, 58-yard TD pass to Brennan Thompson with 30 seconds left to win the game. If you look at performances, if you know with Mississippi State being bad and Arizona State being good, if you look at the numbers, you think they're flipped. Like someone screwed up in the stat column. Like, you credit them to the wrong guy. You know, there's not supposed to be this way. Blake Shapen from Mississippi State, 19 of 39. Not good. 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Sam Levin of Arizona State, all-world quarterback, one of the best in the Big 12. 10 of 22, 82 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. What the blue hell, Sam? Arizona State outrushed Mississippi State 251-66. On the ground, they get it done because they're on there. And was it Raylock Brown and was it Brown and Udo, Kanye Udo, both rushed for over 100 yards? All of that? But you couldn't get it done. And the worst team in the SEC beats the defending Big 12 champs. What the blue hell, Arizona State? Next up, my man, STV Castle, Stephen Vint, he's laughing right now on this one. His Ohio Bobcats, who were at home, beat the West Virginia Mountaineers 17-10. Ohio led 17-7 at the half. This was over at halftime. This is another story where the offenses should be reversed. I mean, this like Rich Rodriguez is going to change things around, or is West Virginia acting like West Virginia? Well, in this game, West Virginia acted like West Virginia. Ohio had 247 yards passing, 182 yards rushing, a balanced attack. Here's the thing about this. I could sum all this up one thing. Parker Navarro's stat line sums this up, because if Parker Navarro didn't make the mistakes he made, Ohio would have blown out West Virginia. First off, Ohio fumbled twice, got the ball back. 2 opportunities missed for turnovers. Parker Navarro had 18 carries for 87 yards, accounted for 334 yards, 22 of 31, 247 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. 3 picks. And you scored 10 points. You had 260 yards of total offense, West Virginia, and you had 3 interceptions going for you. What the blue hell? Shout out to the Ohio Bobcats. Huge win for them. And last... oh my God. Last, but certainly not least, I watched this game. Sunbelt Billy... Sunbelt Billy. The South Florida Bulls go in after beating top 25 Boise State at home. Goes on the road to the Swamp. I'm going to say something that's going to piss some Tennessee fans off, but the hell with it. I don't care. Tennessee has had trouble playing in the Swamp. Well, South Florida went in the Swamp and won 18-16. Again, like Boise State, Byron Brown is a problem. 23 of 36, 263 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick, plus 17 carries for 66 yards. Florida, what was the song? They sang like the whole chance ground. There's Fire Billy Napier, Fire Billy. And everybody in the SEC is going, no, extend Billy, extend Billy, extend Sunbelt Billy. We want him to stay in Florida because y'all can keep sucking. DJ Lagway looked just out of place. He looked lost at times. Just didn't know what he was doing. I mean, it was kind of ironic that Florida tries to get themselves with former Florida players, but sometimes staying at home has its value for a collegiate athlete. A lot of field goals kicked for South Florida, including the 26-yard game winner as time expires. 20-yard game winner as time expires. South Florida is in Tampa. Tampa, Florida, right? The kicker was Nico Gramatica. Name sound familiar? Remember NFL kicker Martin Gramatica from the Tampa Bay Bucks? Yeah, that's his son. And he stayed home. Martin lived in Tampa, stayed home, plays for South Florida, and beats the Gators. There's a little bit of irony for you. This, I'm going to say this as a side note. 2 games that somebody asked me to message about it to put on the Hit the Gym or What the Blue Hells, referring to Fresno State being San Diego State, some of the Pac-12 games. Look, that's not what I'm worried about here. That was more even. This is more What the Blue Hells. Oregon State losing to Fresno State is not on the list, sorry. But to one thing I have to get out there, to the coaches who have younger coaching staff. San Diego State's the one that pops to mind the most with Coach Lewis and Aztec Fast on how to get things going, but he doesn't have the personnel. This is year 2. Alex Golesh, the former Tennessee Vols offensive coordinator, who after the 2022 season with Hendon Hooker, and they had that one incredible run, and they were number 1 in the nation in offense, got the head coaching job at South Florida. This is his 3rd year. He's got his guys. He brought in some of the players. I'm blanking on some of the receivers. He brought in Gaston, the former Tennessee quarterback, who's not going to have a chance to play with Byron Brown, but he's helping to educate the younger guys on the system that Alex runs and possibly maybe becoming a coach in the future. So you have the future time going here, but Florida. Sunbelt Billy, please stay forever. We really love you in the SEC. Everybody who's not a Florida fan, But what the hell, Florida? South Florida. 2 top 25 wins. Damn impressive, no matter how the hell you slice it. All right, now that's done. Finally gonna do that top 25, my top 25. Do mine on a point system, so I'm gonna go and repeat last week's top 25, and then I'm gonna go back with new one. The top 4 didn't change, so that's a little foreshadowing. But Ohio State was 1, followed by Penn State, Georgia, Miami, and Texas. That was the top 5 last week. Then LSU, Oregon, Arizona State, Iowa State, South Carolina finished the top 10. 11 through 20 is Clemson, Illinois, Alabama, Michigan, SMU, Kansas State, Indiana, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, and Tennessee, followed by Texas Tech, Louisville, Iowa, Auburn, and Memphis. Well, as foreshadowing dictates, the top 4 remain the same. It's Ohio State at 1, Penn State at 2, Georgia at 3, Miami at 4. Because of the big win, I moved Oregon up to 5. Texas drops down a notch to 6. Iowa State climbs up a little bit to number 7. LSU drops to number 8. Illinois moves up 3 spots. They're number 9. They're in the top 10 now. And South Carolina holds at 10. So that's your top 10. 11 through 15. Alabama is at 11. Clemson at 12. Ole Miss climbs 5 spots because of their win to 13. Arizona State drops 6 spots because of that big loss to Mississippi State to 14. Indiana climbs to 2 spots to 15. Tennessee with their win goes up to 4 spots to 16. Notre Dame climbs 2 even though they didn't play, 17. Biggest climb of the week was Auburn. Mainly the fact Auburn climbed up was the fact they got a win, but also the fact that a lot of people around them lost. So they dropped off, and Auburn climbed up for the simple fact that they won. Everybody else around them lost, so they climbed up out of that. Auburn is the biggest climb of the week, up 6 spots to 18. Louisville's up 3 to 19. Michigan drops 6 spots to number 20. Texas Tech holds at 21. Biggest drop of the week, SMU drops 7 spots to 22. And 3 debuts in the top 25. Oklahoma's at 23. Utah was just on the outside looking in, 24. And stunner, South Florida is in at 25. You beat 2 top 25 teams, you're in the poll. You were on the outside looking in, but that was a big top 25 win, beating Florida. So, again, I'm going to run through the list again. Top 5 is Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Miami, and Oregon. 6 through 10 is Texas, Iowa State, LSU, Illinois, and South Carolina. Then 11 through 20, Alabama, Clemson, Ole Miss, Arizona State, Indiana, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Auburn, Louisville, Michigan. Then the last 5 is Texas Tech, SMU, Oklahoma, Utah, and South Florida. Whew. We had a fun week. We got some fun games coming up next week. But that's not everything because, well, first off, let's get this housekeeping out the way. Before we get anything else done, everybody do me a favor. You haven't done it already. Smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. Helps the algorithm, lets YouTube know. Appreciate it if you would. Comment on the video. The comment for the video for this time, from all of you, is what game surprised you? Whether it was a blowout win, a team that should have been on there was close, or a team that lost. What won? Probably going to be a blowout a loss is probably what's going to be. But regardless, the result of the game surprised you? Put that down in the comments. Share the video if you want to. Haven't done already. Check out some of the videos that I've done. If you like it, hey, subscribe to the channel. On the road to 2K, trying to make some magic happen. You want to follow me on X, the link will be in the description. So thanks everybody for watching the Fifth Down Show here on Sunday. Tomorrow is Stand Up, Rank Up, the first episode. I'll get into that, which is about the subscriber rankings as well as standings for the Fantasy League mock draft thing we did with STV Castle and the 2 guys from the Big Mountain, and JY and Steve from the Big Mountain. We're going to do a standings check on them, as I'm going to do that every 2 weeks, just like I do this, but that's going to be the one that's going to be going all the way through to the NCAA tournament. I was going to go and have it all the way up, past that, but that's when it's going to end, and then we start the next one. So, thanks everybody for watching, who is enjoying their Sunday. Be safe, and please, be good to each other.